Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Colleen Klimczak, organizational coach and certified professional organizer. I own Peace of Mind Professional Organizing, LLC. Since 2003, I've been helping my clients live better lives through organizing and organizational and productivity coaching. In addition to organizing and coaching, I support my clients with a weekly newsletter, a weekly accountability and productivity session through professional speaking, blogging, and podcasting. Want to finish strong with me this week? Join me and my community for Finish Line Friday every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central for a 2-hour productivity session. Drop me an email at colleen@peaceofmindpo.com or follow the Zoom room link on my Instagram or Facebook pages. Welcome to episode 62 of Your Organized Life. This week, I am asking a question, and I'm also sharing some personal stuff, but that's okay. We'll get there. It's all in the interest of helping us all to do better and to be better, right? Isn't that what we're here for? That's what I'm here for. So my question this week is, who's on the team? I'm going to be real and honest this week. Well, I'm always real and honest, but I'm going to talk about things that are a little uncomfortable to talk about because, well, sometimes we need to do the uncomfortable things. Because sometimes they're the right things to do, even if they're uncomfortable. Before we go too far today, I want to start with the end in mind. And so in summary, for the topic you haven't heard about yet, just trust me on this one, we need to demystify medical issues and wellness and prevention, and we need to talk about stuff. Secondly, I am fine. Third, I'm very appreciative of my team, of knowing that I'm not alone and that I have very smart people I can call. Also, we need to pursue prevention and wellness in positive terms. And finally, I am encouraging all of us this week to map out our plan and make our appointments for 2024. I am happy to say I took care of all the recommended wellness screenings and vaccinations for my age group in 2023. Now, before you think I'm being all braggy, trust me, I am not. In full transparency, I received my results from the test I took instead of having a colonoscopy on Thursday, December 28th. So to say that I took care of them all in 2023, well, let's just admit that I just squeaked that last test in to 2023. The question I want to ask us today is, who's on the team? And the challenge is for us to think of them as the team, as people who are smart, maybe smarter than us in certain areas, and who are here to help us. And this week, that is in healthcare terms. Here's the story. It is spring of 2020. I know a lot of other things happened in spring of 2020 as well, but this is my story, not everybody's story. I had created a great team, I thought, over the last 20 years with a primary care practice and a gynecological practice in the same clinical building. And then, just as I really needed them, my gynecologist who delivered all 3 of my children retired, the clinical building closed, and all the doctors left, with no follow-up or opportunities for appointments for over 4 months. Because of this experience, I realized just how important it is to have a team and to think of wellness and prevention in positive terms. I'm always on track with my annual gynae appointments and my mammogram. I struggled with medical issues starting in the summer of 2020 that culminated in a major surgery in February of 2021. So staying on top of those issues is even more important to me than ever. However, because I had done so much medical stuff in the 6 months leading up to that surgery, I did not get an annual physical exam or lab work, etc. in the rest of 2021 or 2022. But again, I understand the importance of regular screenings and preventive medicine. And I encourage all of us to understand that importance and make time now to take care of ourselves, to save time and heartache later. So in 2023, I recommitted to prevention and re-examined my team. I made the calls that needed to be made. I made the appointments. I did the work. Did I like all of it? No. Did I do it anyway? Yes. Because, like in organizing, maintenance in wellness is where it's at. In 2023, I had not yet had a colonoscopy, even though recent changes to the recommendations tell us that we should start getting those at 45 years of age. And as my otherwise totally chill and relaxed gynecologist said very strongly at my appointment with her in July, there are worse things than getting a colonoscopy, like getting colon cancer. And she said it just like that. And obviously that stuck with me. And to be honest, because I said this week I was going to be brutally honest, I wasn't actually worried about getting a colonoscopy. My hurdles were navigating our insurance, setting aside 2 days to schedule the prep and exam, not wanting to bother anyone with needing to drive me, etc. So at my annual physical in November, my primary care doctor mentioned Cologuard, which is a test I could do at home and then set in. And I thought that sounded like a great idea. And even after I received the kit, it still took me a few weeks to do it, but I did it. And the everything looks good, you have 3 years until you have to do it again, results were the ones that I received on December 28th. I'm taking a while to get around to what I really want to talk about today. I added another member to the team recently. For much of 2023, I had a spot on my nose that just wouldn't heal. It would almost heal, and then I would wake up and it would be bleeding again. Most everyone else wouldn't have noticed it, but I certainly did because it's on my face. I am a fair-skinned Irish girl. I have 2 colors. I'm white and I'm red, and there's not much in between for me. I have family members who've had skin cancer. I knew I needed to make the call. I hesitated for a while because my son was getting married in late September and I didn't want to have surgery before that. Saying that out loud, I recognize that that's not reasonable, of course, to think that way, but it is what I thought, and it did guide my lack of action for a time. So right after the wedding, I made the appointment for a skin screening, and that skin screening occurred the first week of November. They completed a thorough screening and took a biopsy of the spot on my nose. This may sound strange, but even though the dermatologist was also very concerned about that spot on my nose, I left the office that day feeling so relieved, knowing that, except for that spot, the rest of my skin looked good and healthy. That felt really great. I received the results the week after Thanksgiving that I have a basal cell carcinoma on my nose and it needs to be removed. Let me assure you, this is the blandest and least concerning type of skin cancer there is, and I am perfectly fine. You can Google it if you'd like, because goodness knows I did. And now I have a Mohs procedure, you can Google that too if you'd like, scheduled for a few weeks from now to remove the spot. Did I want to have the dermatologist appointment? No. Did I want to have the screening? No, because I was worried about what they would find. And again, as I say that out loud, that is not logical thinking. I know, but that was my thinking nonetheless. And I have a feeling that that's a lot of other people's thinking as well. And because I was worried, it was even more important to make it happen. So what's really interesting is that now I have to take a few weeks off around the procedure for recovery. And since that matters when it comes to scheduling, I've had to talk to clients and friends and peers. And I've learned just how common this procedure is. 30% of fair-skinned people will have it in their lifetime. As soon as I mentioned that I have to do this, I've learned that many people I know have already had this procedure, which goes back to the statement that I made at the very beginning. We need to demystify medical conditions and talk about stuff more openly, which is why I am here today talking about this on my podcast. So back to the original question. Who is on the team? The Wellness Edition. So who's on my team? My chiropractor, my massage therapist, my nutrition response testing provider. Those are all in the same office, and I probably see them the most of anyone. I see them all once a month. Now I have a dermatology practice on the team. I have my gynecological practice on the team. I have my eye doctor on the team, and I just saw him last Thursday for my 6-month checkup. I have my primary care physician. I have my dentist. I've also worked with and can call on again a nutritionist, a healer, a physical therapist, an acupuncturist, and a therapist. More importantly, who needs to be on your team? What are the recommended tests and screening for people your age? And if you haven't already scheduled those for 2024, may I gently suggest that you give those some thoughts this week? So let's review. We need to demystify medical issues and wellness and prevention, and we need to talk about stuff. We need to examine the excuses we tell ourselves because sometimes those stories are wrong. I am fine, and I'm very appreciative of my team, of knowing that I'm not alone and that I have smart people that I can call when I need them. I'm advocating for all of us to start thinking about prevention and wellness in positive terms, and I am encouraging all of us this week to map out our plan and to make our appointments for 2024. What does that look like for you? Using the terminology from last week's podcast and article, start with the easy and the obvious. Schedule your dentist appointments for twice this year, your eye doctor appointment, your annual physical. You don't have to complete them right now, but please get them on the calendar for some time in 2024. And if doing that all at once feels overwhelming, place a reminder on the first day of each month to call one doctor's office and make an appointment. Or make that note on your birthday of the month, meaning for me, on the 7th of every month could be Wellness Day. For example, I always use my birthday in the fall as a reminder to get my flu shot. And if you don't know what the recommended screenings are for your age, ask your primary care provider or Google it. Have the uncomfortable conversations, make the tough phone calls. Be the leader of your wellness team and make your plan. Because, to paraphrase the words of my doctor last summer, what's worse than the screenings and vaccines to prevent illness? Actually having the illness. So it's time to mobilize that team. Want to brainstorm how to create and mobilize the team? Or perhaps you are ready to chat about your goals and intentions for 2024 and are seeking support to make them happen? If it's time to invest in yourself and explore coaching for organizing and productivity, I would love to hear from you. Drop me a line via email at Colleen@peaceofmindpo.com or message me through any of my social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you next week.